Imagine walking into a room where everyone is talking, reacting, trying to be seen, and then there's you, quiet, composed, almost still. Not weak, not shy, but controlled. The kind of calm that makes people slightly uncomfortable because they can't read you. There's a story of a simple staring challenge where people tried to outlast each other, but one person didn't try harder, didn't act tougher. She just stayed calm, completely unshaken. And that's what made everyone else crack. Because calmness, real calmness, is pressure. It's power without noise. And the truth is, most people never learn this. They think confidence is loud, that strength is aggressive, that dominance means speaking more, reacting faster, proving yourself constantly. But the real shift happens when you realize that your calm is your control, and your control is your presence. It starts with something incredibly simple, something you're doing right now without even thinking, your breath. When anxiety hits, your breathing changes before anything else. It becomes shallow, fast, almost panicked, and your body follows that signal like it's in danger. But here's the flip side. If you take control of your breath, you take control of your state. Slow it down, deepen it, stretch each inhale and exhale, and suddenly your body starts to believe that everything is okay. Because biologically, it has no choice. You're no longer reacting, you're regulating. And that's the first layer of calm. And once you experience that shift, even for a moment, you realize something powerful. Calm isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. The next layer is silence. Not the awkward kind, not the forced kind, but intentional silence. Most people talk too much when they're nervous. They fill every gap, explain every thought, justify every decision, hoping to be understood, hoping to be accepted. But the more you speak from that place, the more you give away your power. Silence, on the other hand, creates space. Space to think, space to observe, space to choose your response instead of being controlled by the moment. And in that space, something interesting happens. People start leaning in. They start wondering. Because what you don't reveal becomes more powerful than what you do. Mystery isn't about hiding, it's about restraint. It's about knowing that you don't owe everyone an explanation for who you are, what you feel, or why you made a certain choice. The need to constantly explain yourself is often just a disguised need for validation. But when you truly understand your own values and your own boundaries, that need starts to fade. You realize that not everyone has to agree with you, and more importantly, they don't have to. And that brings us to one of the biggest reasons people lose their calm. They try to control things that were never theirs to control. What others think, how they react, what the future looks like, whether everything goes according to plan. It's exhausting, and it keeps you stuck in a constant loop of overthinking and tension. But the moment you separate what's in your control from what isn't, everything changes. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, that's your territory. Everything else is just noise. And when you stop trying to manage the noise, you create room for peace. That doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start choosing where your energy goes. Because calmness isn't about being passive, it's about being intentional. It's about knowing when to act and when to let go. A big part of that is boundaries, not the kind you talk about, but the kind you actually enforce. It's easy to say you don't tolerate disrespect, but the real test is what you do when it happens. Do you stay silent out of fear, or do you address it with clarity and composure? Because every time you choose not to stand up for yourself, you teach yourself that your peace is negotiable. But when you start holding your ground, something shifts internally. You build trust with yourself. You realize you can handle discomfort without losing control. Over time, all of this compounds. Your breath, your silence, your boundaries, your awareness. They start working together. You become someone who doesn't react instantly, someone who doesn't get pulled into every situation, someone who can sit in the middle of chaos and still feel steady. And that kind of energy is rare. It stands out. It makes people curious, sometimes even uneasy, because they can't predict you. But more importantly, it changes how you experience life. Because at the end of the day, calmness isn't something you pretend to have, it's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice, until it becomes who you are.